Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to go through some mainly PS2 games because I have a PS2 game extravaganza. No, basically it was just someone on Facebook who, on one of the free sites, that was giving away some PlayStation 2 games. Don't know what no idea what they were or anything like that, but yeah, it turns out I managed to get them. So I thought we'd go through them. I've had a quick check through just to make sure games have actually got discs and that kind of thing. But yes, needless to say, this would probably not have been my PlayStation 2 collection. So that's for certain. But you know, different people, different tastes and all that sort of stuff. So I'll go through some of the other little bits as well that came with it. No console or anything, but there is a controller, or two controllers I think, and a PS2 box, which is interesting. So yes, I'll go through these, and most of these I haven't played. Some I have, but still, yes, quite nostalgical. So the first one we have is New York Runabout 3. Neo don't know what that is. Neo Arc, I'm going to call it. Yeah, so you're going to spot a theme. Lots of driving games, lots of racing games, that kind of thing. So I'm probably just going to stack them on top of each other for a bit until we run out of space. And I'm putting these out at random, by the way, so not in any particular order. Although, like I say, I did check that they all have the discs, which they do. There's just one that didn't have the discs, so I've kept that out to one side. Star Wars Battlefront 2, never played Star Wars Battlefront 2. I can't remember if the first one came out on console or not. It may have done, but on this is PS2, isn't it? So I'm not really too sure. But lots of people have got very good memories of the Battlefront games, the earlier ones, of course, rather than the newer ones that we have now. But yeah, so that's quite an interesting game. Maybe something I definitely would have been interested in if I enjoyed Star Wars. Our next one is similar kind of vein, Transformers the game, which obviously I must have known had come out at some point, but you can change form instantly. This might not actually be that bad of a game. Wouldn't know. Never played it. Was not something that I was that particularly interested in. I am just going to make a small camera adjustment, see if I can help the focus. And yeah, and we still have some of these literally still have the registration cards and stuff, which is quite nice. No receipts or anything like that. I used to always keep the receipts inside my, I don't know if anyone else did that, inside my DVD disc or PS2 ones. The Red Star, I feel like I've heard of this, but I definitely have never played it. But it's definitely one of those that, so I was trying to kind of going through and thinking like, which ones do I actually want to play? And this is one of those ones I would at least boot up and have a look at, because yeah, it's kind of a bit interesting, at least. Anyway, so don't imagine many of these will make it to videos, but it's just interesting to see. And then this one is, I think this, oh no, this isn't a PS2 game, this is a DVD, actually. Be the Intro. Some people love this stuff. People I've worked with before have been absolute, music aficionados and can get stuff after the first note, which is just crazy. Not for me, but still, I actually hadn't clocked that was just a DVD. But anyway, there you go. And we've got Spin Drive Ping Pong, recommended by the English Table Tennis Association. The ETTA. I wonder if they're still a thing. I mean, this one's clearly seen better days. Maybe it's had a few cigarette-related instances. I'm not sure. But once again, oh, well, we know that cost £5 at some point. I would probably struggle to get £5 for it nowadays. And the disc has definitely seen better days as well, so that's great. But yeah, I've got no desire to play Spin Drive Ping Pong. Don't know, maybe there's an underground community that really loves it. An absolute classic here. So some of these were clearly bought semi-recently, because they're quite, some of them are do have the CEX vouchers, stickers on, sorry. And a lot of them were quite, cheap as well, I suppose. I mean, I don't know if they're this cheap nowadays. But it must have been fairly recently. Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec is a game I did have, and again really enjoyed. I think probably a lot of people will feel the same. This disc, once again, has also seen better days. I found it in a different case. It's got one interesting looking scratch on there, but I would imagine it would probably be okay. But still, that's actually a nice find. So that is something. Would I boot it up and play it? I'm not sure actually. I need to make a separate file. I'm going to move that over there because that's ones I'm interested in actually giving a go. Man, I'll put Gran Turismo 3 over there, why not, for now, in lieu of anything better. There's some other bits as well in here, which is like some stuff I've never seen before. Like, this is a DVD player disc. I don't know, like, I don't even know what it does. I've never seen, legitimately I've never seen this. And I had a PS2, and maybe it was just one of those things that just was in the box, or not. But, yeah, if anyone knows what that's for, other than like maybe activating the DVD player, let me know. We've got a power cable. Can never get enough of them though, to be fair, so happy about that. What else have we got? More games. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004. That actually rhymes, so that's good. I either played on one of these Tiger Woods games or had it, but yeah, probably not something I would. You also spot a theme in terms of like numbered yearly sports games as well in here, which is something that I did have though, to be fair. We've got FIFA 09, which I had for the PS3 rather than the PS2, and there is a big difference in graphical quality between the two games. This one for PS2 kind of felt like they just re-updated FIFA 09, but it's kind of an oddity, right, because it's one of those crossover sports games, and you tend to get that between, or used to anyway, between console generations. We've got Outrun 2006, I think one of the first ones was Outrun as well. Someone clearly a big fan of Outrun, which I never actually got into or played. I think I've played one of the older ones in the arcade, but that's probably about it. Yeah, Sega published game, don't know, never played it. And we've got Centre Court Hard Hitter. So this person, I think, trying to build up a profile of what this young person was like, and quite obviously loved cars and loved big tennis and small tennis as well. So we've got, yeah, Centre Court Hard Hitter. Once again, not one that I've ever played. Looks like I would say like a fairly budget title, made or published by Midas Games, so there's potential there. Not authorised by the English Table Tennis Association, obviously. We've got World Rally Championship Extreme. Probably not something that I would have wanted to play, you know, back in the day, I suppose, but something that I am more interested in the rally games nowadays. I've played a few over the last few years, for example, particularly on like the Steam Deck and stuff. So that's quite nice. And yeah, like, is the registration card still here? No, but we do have but it all looks very good to me. Right, I'm going to move these out of the way because the camera is starting to get a bit choked. Oh, the focal length anyway. Better move these out of the way as well. So we have Broken Sword, which is an interesting one. Not one that I played, and it's quite incongruent as well to the other games. Kind of thinking like, is this their parents' game? You know, because point and click adventure. This one I believe is murder mystery. So yeah, interesting one. Would I be interested in it? No, probably not. Not even now. But yeah, still, that's a rare oddity amongst this. And back to form, we've got Ridge Racer 5. Obviously, but for £1.50, that seems pretty good. I mean, I'd rather have Gran Turismo for £1, but yeah, this is still pretty nice on form as well with the rest of the games. So in here we do have, I believe, and I could be wrong, but from what I remember, this is the demo disc that came with the PS2 that had some of the games on it, which is quite nice to see, and actually probably something I would actually legitimately fire up to see what was on there. So I'm going to put that on the maybe play file. Probably go through the console, the controllers at the end. So we did have one PS1 game in here at the bottom of the second box that it came with, which is the first Medal of Honor, which is nice. And it also comes with a bonus copy, don't know how they managed this, of Medal of Honor Rising Sun for the PS2. There is no case for this, and it's quite heavily scratched as well. But we do have a Platinum Edition of the original Medal of Honor, and despite the fact it's not got the manual, like, it seems to be in pretty good nick. I don't think I actually played the first one, but yeah, it's a nice addition anyway to have. We then have just rugby. It doesn't have a year. It is the only rugby game you will ever need with Martin Johnson on the front. I believe I did play this one. One of my friends had it, I believe, but for the Xbox rather than the PS2. And it was a pretty decent rugby game, I suppose. We hadn't really seen them before then. They may well have existed, but yeah, not something that personally I've seen. World Championship Poker. By Play It, you know it's quality when it's a Play It game. If I was being not generous, fair maybe, kind of shovelware games, right? But look, if you wanted to play poker on your PS2, this is probably one of the games you could buy for it. An interesting one. Area 51, once again, never played. Shooter game, lots of that going on here, but not one that I've ever seen. Don't know if it was any good or not. They were clearly going for the online multiplayer, like they were with Battlefront 2 as well. But yeah, it sounds pretty cool, actually. Like the fact that you get to play as the aliens as well. But yeah, whether it was a good game or not, not sure. Sort of passed me by. In this case, it's seen better days as well. You can probably tell by the reflections. We then have a game that I did have, because this was the game that came out around the infamous, or famous, I suppose, Ashes tour of 2005, I think it was, and I remember, where England beat the Australians, and there's Freddie Flintoff and all the rest of it. So yeah, so cricket had quite a bit of a resurgence during that period, which was nice to see. And yeah, it was a pretty good game for all intents and purposes, and having played like the new cricket games that are out now, there's not been a huge amount of leaps and bounds in terms of like where it is, even in terms of like the bowling and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think these EA cricket games hold up pretty well today, I would suggest. And then we have, not from cricket to Jaws, we then have Jaws Unleashed, once again a game that I did not ever play, but it looks on the back, because I was a bit interested in this one, very similar to that Man-Eater game, which is like the same sort of thing. And I didn't realise, to be honest, when I saw it I thought it was a bit like new, like a new idea, but it turns out they may have just ripped off Jaws Unleashed. So yes, that is it's an 18 game as well, probably because of hopefully all the blood and gore. But once again, like, we've got the disc, manual, that kind of thing. Bit of a strange one. Not one I even knew existed before now. I think it's probably the same as Area 51, but yeah, still. Let me move these out of the way. We'll carry on. What we got next? Athens 2004. Now, this is one I did have. This is one that I spent a lot of time playing with as a teenager, because it's one of those Olympics games, where you have to repeatedly bash a certain button or spin the joystick round and that kind of thing. So, this one was so popular that it was platinum in the end, which is crazy really, but it is actually an interesting game, and one that I would legitimately play now if people came over. So, I'm going to have to put that in the play pile, I think, although my hands don't quite still bear the scars of this game, but yeah, so we'll put it over there. We have got a couple of James Bond games in here, looking in what we got left. But we've got Nightfire, which is actually, to be fair, most of the early James Bond games, PS1, PS2 games, were pretty good. And I seem to remember this one wasn't too bad. Yeah, it was good. Pierce Brosnan driving the Aston Martin V12 Vanquish, nice, iconic, cool. Actually, I haven't checked the back of... Oh, we've got two manuals for this one. Oh, no. We have a promotional leaflet for EA 2002. And James Bond... Oh, what the heck is this? James Bond always gets what he wants. And it's the... I wonder if this is actually in the game somewhere. Philly Shave. By Philips, right? James Bond shaver of choice. Okay, I was not expecting to see that today. But there you go. If you want to shave like James Bond, you need the Cool Skin by Philips. And yeah, okay, so we were... What was this, 2002? Okay, Nightfire's in there. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, brilliant. This game far superior though. We've got, one of the first Harry Potters as well, and The Sims on PS2. Medal on a Frontline, I think that's the one I played, Frontline. And Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. Yeah, that's cool. Some not bad ones in there. Well, you've got to remember, 2002, you had the crossover there with, or starting to get the crossover with PS3, I think. Is that right? No, that's not right, is it? Can't be. It was after then. But anyway, or was it? No, it was after then. Don't question it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Will I play Nightfire? Probably not. And put that in the probably not play file. We then have Silent Scope, which was a whole 40p. Where is this even from? Is this a C? Yeah, it's a CX one. No of Silent Scope. There's a couple of. There's another game that's similar to this that I did have that we'll go through. But yeah, I don't recall this. Made by Konami. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's worth 40p. I'm not sure. But yeah, one of those like timed. You're in a fixed position and you have to take down targets and that kind of thing. Can be like it's okay as a gimmick game, I suppose, but I've never really seen them being long lasting and enduring. But from that to an actual legitimate good game that I know is good anyway, Enter the Matrix, which is based on the film, and there's some like cool. Like I remember the fights in this being quite good. Always interested to see what kind of stuff we have. The manual is thick. Oh, it's in many languages. That's why. I think there might be some exposition, which I do love to see in these manuals. Dragon Ball Z, one of the more famous Dragon Ball Z games. Anything else in here that is interesting? Oh, we've got Risk, Slam Tennis. I'm surprised we didn't have a copy of Slam Tennis in here. Taz, at least. Fall down. No, it does fall down. Terminator, Dawn of Fate, Stuntman, Micro Machines. Play Micro Machines on the PlayStation 1. God, there is some games in there that I'm really not interested in. But yes, from what I remember, the Matrix game was pretty darn good. I'm actually going to put that in the maybe play pile. Okay, another James Bond game, Agent Under Fire. Don't think this is as good as Nightfire, but what shaver does he want this time? Doesn't say what shaver he wants, but there are allies. M is an ally and R is an ally. But there are also enemies. This is bad. Right. Yeah, once again, probably won't be playing this. The other one looks a lot better. I'm not sure trying to see what year this came out in now. 2001. Only a year between the two. Maybe just better graphically designed. Nightfire. Right. So, we have a game that I have legitimately bought, actually. There's one I bought a few PS2 games as part of my curated collection, and that is Spartan Total Warrior. Brilliant game. I mean, it does get like surprisingly difficult towards the end, but yeah, it's one of those like proper classic big, lots of characters on screen, lots of really interesting moves and abilities. Obviously, you get to fight Medusa and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's great. And I think we've got the manual as well. Let's see what the disc is like. Haven't dared look at half the discs on the back to see if they're actually okay. That one's alright. So yeah, I mean, not like one of the more classic ones, like kind of underrated. Not a huge amount of like it never went platinum or anything like that, but as far as I'm aware. But yeah, it's well worth playing even today, I would suggest, because like of the art style and all the rest of it, probably does hold up quite well. So it's already in my collection, so it's already gonna try and play it at some point. But I'll put it over here for posterity, over with the other pile for posterity's sake. We then have Futurama, which is an interesting kind of game. I've seen a few videos of this being played, like some of the later missions, and it's kind of one of those that's, I guess, like better thought of with time, I suppose, because not a huge amount of Futurama games out there. Is this the only one? Citation required. Possibly. But yeah, we have got the manual and the registration card, which is nice. And what's this? Is it an advert for DVDs? If you've already got a PS2, you can get DVDs of Futurama, can't you? And you can get season 1. Is that how early this came out? After season 1 and 2? Oh, season 3 is available as well. Gosh. I mean, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, kind of like a action platformer type of game. Let's have a look at the disc. What are we thinking? Yeah, it needs a clean, but that will probably buff out. So yes, not pristine, but not too bad. So yeah, not one, like I say, not one I have actually played, but I've seen a few videos of it and stuff. But seems pretty good. It is an authentic game that no fan or newcomer will want to miss. Well, I don't now have to miss it. Am I going to play it though? I'm going to stick it on here for now because I'm interested in it, but not really maybe other stuff I might want to play instead. So then we've got SpiderMan Friend or Foe. I feel like this must have been a game that came out toward the end of the PS2. But I haven't played this. I only really played the first Spider-Man game, so I don't actually know if this one is any good or not. We do have the manual, which is very nice. We do most of them, and the registration card, so we can register it if we want to. No slot for a PS2 memory card though. Don't know if this is the original case or not. Who knows? We do need a memory card, I think. Yes, we do. And it was made in Austria. Interesting. Yes, so I think it looks like it's a generic or basic Spider-Man game. Enjoy funny twists on famous big screen moments. Okay. Cool. And yes, I mentioned some of the... Oh, this is actually a sticker, this bonus features. A lot of car games, or yes, racing games in general. Midnight Club 3, the Dub Edition Remix. Gosh, that is a lot of words, a lot of buzzwords there, isn't it, in order to try and sell this thing. Never played any Midnight Clubs, cannot comment at all. Thick manual, probably in many languages, and another registration card. So, yes, it is complete at least, which is, I guess, nice. But if you've played it, you have to let me know if it is any good or not. Not sure. Oh, it's Rockstar Games, is it? Didn't know that. Oh, gosh. Unhinged. Trivia Pursuit. What more is there to say? A classic family game. Once again, one of the... I'm thinking kind of parents' games. The parents' game, even. And we do have an Atari registration. Gosh, that is such a thick manual. It's a heavy case, this one. Don't think I'll play this, if I'm honest. Although it is nice to know you could play with your friends and family around the world. But, yeah, if you wanted to, I suppose. 7+. Not for children. And then we have a FIFA Street. Once again, not really a game I was into. I never understood what this EA Sports big thing was. But anyway, we're obviously getting a theme. There's some football games in here, some sports games in here. And there is FIFA Street in here with Ronaldinho on the front as well. What more is there to say? It's not about, I think the tagline, it's not enough to win, you have to win with style. Yeah, it's not how many you score, it's about how you score. But it is quite interesting, I guess, to have like those smaller sided games and that kind of thing. Not one I was ever particularly very good at, but still, there you go. We then have Scrabble Interactive. Every word counts. Did you ever want to play Scrabble on your PS2? I know that I did not, but oh, Ubisoft. Wow, that's what they were up to. And yeah, manual. You can't register this one though, and I guess it's got a blue back disc. It does. Not sure what the difference is, but I remember my PS2 at one point would not read discs with blue backs on them. So I don't think I'll be playing Scrabble, if you needed that clarification. Or not. Next we have FIFA World Cup Germany 2006. I don't know if I did have this one or not. I may have done. It's got the Jibalani ball or whatever it is. Oh, that's not the Germany one, is it? That's 2000. That's the South Africa one. I'm talking a load of rubbish. That's the German ball. Yes, I don't know. There's not much to really say about this one. It's just FIFA, but the World Cup edition, which are always a lot more rubbish than just the normal FIFA games, but people bought them, including me. And now we have a 50p Pro Rally 2002. Oh dear. Been talking about these for too long now. I imagine this is probably alright. The rally games, like racing games, seem to held up fairly well. And yeah, like I say, I do like the old rally game. I won't probably play this one. Probably play one of the more modern ones, but still. Oh gosh. Okay. Hot Wheels Stunt Track Challenge. Try saying that when you're pissed. It's, yeah, Hot Wheels on the stunt track. I imagine, like, as a kid, it's probably been quite cool. Made by THQ, or published by THQ, one or the other. And yes, you can customise your own Hot Wheels cars. I will say, actually, in the same vein as this, I did buy a Robot Wars game for PS2. And it's surprisingly good. It's not perfect by any stretch, but surprisingly good. I'm not going to play that one. And then we have Fame Academy Dance Edition. Now a BBC TV programme. Oh my goodness. I don't remember it on BBC TV. Oh, this is just so weird. I never really understood these types of games. But there you go. I now have Fame Academy Dance Edition if I ever wanted to play it, but I don't. So goodbye Fame Edition. We have World Championship Pool, a mere 75 pence. I feel like if you wanted to play a pool game for PS2, 75p seems to be a good investment. I mean, how much better is it realistically going to get? It's pool. It's not snooker, but it is pool. Made by a company, Jellico, I've never even heard of. But it is powered by GameSpy, so don't worry, no one is going to hack your World Pool Championship 2004. We have International Q Club, so Pool Championship wasn't enough. We now have Q Club as well. Midas published game. No manual in this one. Someone was clearly taking that to one side in order to study the intricacies of International Q Club. I don't have any real words. These series of games, it is Manchester United, so it is obviously trash. But I never had the Arsenal one. But from what I gather, they were not very good games. But there you go. I have a Manchester United edition of Club Football 2005. Although, in a nice, it being nice to Manchester United fans, you have got Ruud van Nistelrooy, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, and Cristiano Ronaldo on the front. And that's not bad, right? They're the kind of players you want to see on the front of the cover. So, I mean, on the back, maybe not so much because you've got Alan Smith there. But that's not meant to be Wayne Rooney. Anyway, yes, I don't know what these games are like, but I gather not very good because I don't think they actually made any more of them, trying to cash in on the fan bit. This is a game I did have, Sniper 2. Never got to play it. You know why? Blue disc. Yeah, this was the game in which my PS2 decided it was now no longer going to read the blue backed discs. Why did I buy it? Because it was cheap and I thought it might be fun, and it doesn't even look fun looking at it now. I think it was mainly because it was cheap. Yes, this is one of those games that I would definitely not have bought back for my collection, and yet somehow we have been reunited once again. Welcome back, the Sniper 2. Oh dear. Oh, okay, we've got two. These are the last two now. Obviously the first one you've just seen. It's Freddie Flintoff playing cricket, once again, 2007. Don't think I had the 2007 one, probably still had the, I think did they release an Ashes one? I may have had that one, but I definitely had the 2005 version. And what improvements were there from 2005, 2007, you ask? No idea. They do give you a quick controls guide though. That's actually quite nice, because sometimes you just need to know what the buttons are when you're playing the game. And actually that would be quite nice in even more modern like cricket games and that kind of stuff. And we've got EA rubbish in there as well. But yeah, it's complete, which is nice. And I imagine still probably, as mentioned before with 2005, it's probably actually still quite a good cricket game, I would suggest. Obviously out of date, but... And now we have what was a huge disappointment. I didn't actually mean to save this one for last, but I bought this game. Once again, it was 2 for 25 quid, so it was on the cheaper side. But it seemed like it would be really cool. I was really into, or loved the idea of like Rome Total War and Watch Time Commander and that kind of thing. And I thought, oh, this game's going to be great. Like, look, so many units on the screen. You get to like test yourselves against Rome's greatest generals, all this sort of rubbish, and it's absolute trash from what I remember. So, it doesn't have the manual, which is fine. So that means I'm actually going to try and play this again. But I remember being extremely disappointed as a kid with this, so it's going to go on the pile. I am going to try and boot it up at some point, and once again be freshly disappointed. So I don't actually have too long left on before my camera's going to cut out, but I'll show you inside the PS2 box. We have an unofficial controller, which I actually had. Oh, and it is the wires are also showing. Did actually have one of these. I think probably everyone did. To be honest, they were like the cheapest controllers you could get to replace your other ones. And then we have a very nice, once again actually broken, unfortunately, controller. I wonder if it's possible to change the wires on these. It must be, I would have thought. So maybe that's something for me to have a go at some point, because that one's quite nice. And then a SCART cable as well. And what we will end with, I realise we've gone through quite a lot there, is the fact that we have this very nice PlayStation 2 box. And I always like seeing what games and stuff they advertise on the back and accessories and that kind of thing. So I figured we'd have a look through that as well. We've got Tomb Raider Next Gen. I don't know why it was called Tomb Raider Next Gen. Is that what the game is called? I don't think it is. Metal Gear Solid 2, Kingdom Hearts, Primal, Ape Escape 2, Tekken 4, Ratchet and Clank, Stuntman, Time Splitters 2, Wipeout Fusion, V-Rally, Ico, Malice, Tribes 2, and Ace Combat Distant Thunder. So I'm not sure if I'm correct, because things get confused and muddled in time, don't they? But I don't think this is a launch PS2, because I don't think these are launch PS2 titles. That's what I first thought, anyway. And I could be, obviously, very, very wrong. We've not really moved on, have we, from what type of accessories we now have? I mean, they're all basically the same, just in different flavours. You know, you want a new memory card? Buy a new SSD. You want a new controller? Well, yeah, you still got to buy a new controller. The multi-tap thing, luckily, has gone out of fashion because it's now all wireless. But I guess you could technically do a multi-tap if you had all wired controllers. So there is that. Anything on the side? Demo disc. There it is. Will it focus? Will it heck? But it says that there's a demo disc, which there is. And that's it. There you have it. PS2 games. Many of them. Let me know what you think. Like I say, would not have been my collection. My collection would have been a lot more Dynasty Warriors, Final Fantasy focused, if I'm completely honest. But still, there are some odd treasures in there, actually, and despite the fact it was clearly meant to be like a family console at some point, the majority of it was either, well, seems to be driving cars, playing pool, playing tennis. So, yeah, can't say I particularly blame the previous owner of that, but not bad, you know, picked them all up for, obviously just had to go and pick them up, so it's quite nice to have, and I've got a few there that I will want to give a bit of a bash to as well. So overall, not too shabby. I cannot complain, and I would not complain either. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.